Ryan Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630.
It's 6:37 in the morning, and we have Sean Trendy from Real Clear Politics, who knows all about all elections. Isn't that right, Sean?
I try my best.
He knows everything there is to know.
So I was really interested in the Wisconsin budget debate when it was happening, but I confess to having lost track of all of the fallout from it. So on Tuesday, there were primaries for the recall elections. Is that correct?
Absolutely. 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats are being recalled. These are state senators, and there were primary elections on the Democratic side. The Republicans ran a bunch of candidates in the Democratic primary as protest candidates, and the Democrats won.
Okay, so that's what I hear about fake Democrats.
That's right. The Republicans wanted to push back the general elections to give the Republican candidates an opportunity to campaign for a longer period of time, and so that's what they did.
Okay, and then the other question was, we had a special election in California, which Democrats also came out on top of. How close was that? Was it closer than expected? Were there any decent signs for Republicans, or just a total loss?
No, it was close. Relatively speaking, it was a 9-point race. But you have to understand that this is a district. It leans heavily towards the Democrats. It was competitive in the 90s, but redistricting made it so that it's a 64% Obama district. So for the Democrat to only get 54% is an underperformance. Even Kerry got 59% there.
Sean, I'm sorry. Sean, there's a couple of interesting polls that came out. I look at your website every day. I think it's the greatest compendium of political news out there. I really am a big fan of your site. But the interesting thing, first of all, Bachmann up 13% in Iowa, 13 points in Iowa. That's pretty impressive. But the thing that sort of draws my attention is if you look at the Rasmussen Reports poll that says Obama versus any generic Republican in the coming election, it shows that Republicans win by about 5 points. But when Quinnipiac does their breakdown and say, well, so Obama versus Romney, or Obama versus Perry, or Obama versus Bachmann, or Obama versus Palin, Obama wins every time. What do you draw from all that?
Yeah, this is what I like to tell my friends, and we're friends for today.
Okay.
When we get to Election Day 2012, if things don't improve, I think there's going to be about 55 to 57% of the country that wants to vote against Obama.
Right.
And whether they vote against Obama is up to the Republicans and who they nominate, because they're going to look at Obama and say, I don't like the direction of the country. I'm going to look the other way. But then they might not like what they see on the Republican side. And the problem is the Republicans don't have a popular candidate. They all come with some baggage. For now, at least, it's boosting the president's chances.
Yeah.
There is a consumer confidence index that's usually about 100 if a president is going to be elected, and right now it's like 58 or something like that. How significant is that poll, and what do you make of it?
Yeah, that's really significant. I mean, I don't know. I think you're talking about the Michigan survey.
Yeah, right.
In the 50s back in 2008, too. So, I mean, the signs are not particularly encouraging if you're a Democrat. We'll just put it that way. Something has to change if Obama's going to win. Either the Republicans nominate an unacceptable candidate, or we suddenly get a V-shaped recession. I think things are going the other direction. So,
and recent polling in 2 interesting states, Florida and North Carolina, showing Obama underwater or dropping severely. What does that mean for how they game out where they're spending all this money he's bringing in?
Well, that's the trick. He can raise a lot of money, but if the American people don't like the direction of the country, it's just not going to matter. And he's underwater in Florida. He's underwater in Pennsylvania. We've seen we've seen North Carolina and New Hampshire polls with bad news. If he loses those 4 states, it's virtually impossible for him to win re-election.
All right, this fight over the debt that's going on right now, which is very significant, and the feeling I get is that both sides, Republicans and Democrats, are worried about who will get the blame if things go south. Mm-hmm. If the debt ceiling is not raised, if there is no deal made, whether it's the grand bargain that the president wants, a huge deal for the next couple of years, or even short-term deal, which I think some Republicans are pushing now, who does get the blame from the American people?
You know, the conventional wisdom is it's the Republicans, because people look back to the shutdown of the 1990s. I'm not sure that's right. The economic environment is a lot worse than it was in the 1990s. Barack Obama, I don't think, has Bill Clinton's ability to relate to the middle class. I'm not 100% convinced that the public turns against the Republicans like they did in the mid-'90s.
That's the only good news I've heard for a while.
All right, Sean, good to talk to you. Thanks for coming to the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Sean Trende, he's Senior Elections Analyst for Real Clear Politics, here with the Morning Majority.